It's time for some sporting magic on a Friday morning, a feel-good Friday morning. You are welcome into the locker room. This is Smooth 98.1. Your love music, love life, and love sports station as well. It's 16 minutes past 8 a.m. Ayokunmi We're here with you, and it's going to be a great show, as it always is. A number of things to dive into: Formula One, basketball, football. This is where you get the best of sports analysis, and of course, the banter. The banter is a very big part of what we do. So you need to join us, get in here, get in the locker room, and keep up with us as you also share your thoughts on the sporting stories. And of course, the weekend is here. So that means that club football is also on the horizon. You can also share your thoughts about what you think concerning games coming up this weekend. And if you want to, put a bit of banter around, hey, why not? Join us on WhatsApp, join us on YouTube as well. 0911-999-0981. That's the WhatsApp number. Send your messages there. Also, leave your messages on YouTube at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. YouTube family, thank you all for always keeping it locked right here. All right, joining me as he has been throughout the entire week, keeping it real. Ibitayo Daramola is with me. Good morning to you, Tayo.
Yeah, good morning. Pleasure to always be here.
Great to have you as always. Take a look at the sporting action, a number of things that we're going to talk about this morning. And we're going to start with Formula One. I mean, Formula One has been in the news recently, of course. We know what Max Verstappen has been getting into, and Lewis Hamilton has been speaking. Yes, he has won McLaren's title contenders Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris about Max Verstappen's cutthroat character as the three head into the final five races of the season. And I think Lewis Hamilton is right to actually tell them that if you guys don't get your act together, this boy is going to jump in and take it away from you. Of course, he's called Mad Max for a reason, and I think he's a serious mentality monster. What do you think about this, Tayo?
I mean, it's a fair warning to them. It's a very fair warning. Max is very edgy. I mean, apart from the fact that he's one of the finest drivers, currently he's the best driver on the circuit. But he also has an edge about him, and he's not afraid to take the risk, which most drivers are. He's not afraid. If he sees an opening, no matter how dangerous it is, he will try and take advantage. And sometimes he's been docked points for the way he drives, but hasn't stopped him. And well, who are you I don't think anyone can tell him to stop doing that because he's won four titles. So I mean, this style has led him to win four titles. His team back him up, and he knows that he has their trust. So I mean, he's a very confident driver. And Lewis Hamilton is just telling them, look, McLaren's. It's like you people are not sure you want to win this title, because it was just 5-6 weeks ago where we had a gap so wide that we thought, no, for sure, Piastri has this on his back, just cruise control. You have the fastest car, so no problem. But what we've seen is capitulation in the last four races, especially where Mad Max has come good. He's finished above the McLarens in all last four races. And not only that, he's won three of the last four. The only other one he didn't win, he finished second. So that's points accumulated. 25 points to win, 18 points finishing second. That keeps eating into the supposed lead the McLarens have. And now he's just 40 points up of Piastri and in first place, and just 26 points off Lando Norris in second place. And even the gap Piastri had over Lando Norris has been cut short to 14. So it's a big worry for McLaren. They are not cruising as they were at the start of the season, despite having the fastest cars. They're making mistakes in the qualifiers and even in the race proper. It's maybe, I don't know, maybe it's jealousy, but because they don't have a team order and there's no number one or number two driver, I keep saying this, there's no other. So everybody goes, and it's when they say, okay, we allow them to race. For the neutrals, yes, we want to see the drivers race, but in the real sense of it, you need a number one driver where you can always focus and channel on. Number two is supposed to help the number one win races. Like in case in point, if say McLarens are leading 1 and 2, and you have Lando Norris as your number one driver, and Verstappen is coming, you can tell Piastri that Piastri, you try and slow Lando Max down so that Lando can have an advantage. Other cars, other teams do that for their number one driver. They try and help during the race with the number two driver helping to shield sometimes. But in McLaren's case, it's not the same because they are both number ones and both have a chance of winning. So they will be competitive. Despite racing for the same team, they are still racing against themselves. So Mad Max has taken a big advantage of that and their lack of concentration, their inexperience. And yes, he said it last race. First time I've heard him all season say that, yes, he's in the title race himself. And that's confidence coming from Max.
Confidence coming from Max. Before we leave this particular one, Tayo, I'm just very curious. If by any chance, let's speak hypothetically here, if McLaren were to pull a Tottenham and bottle this and Max Verstappen ends up winning, what does that say about McLaren and their two drivers as well?
It will be more, because of the way Formula One is, it will be more on the team principle for coming up with, the last time we had these competitive drivers was, I think the last time was when Rosenborg won. Yeah, if I recall, Rosenborg won, and both of them, Rosenborg and Hamilton on Mercedes, and Rosenborg won. They were not looking to favor anybody. Rosenborg even came out. Hamilton was number one driver, but he came out and said, look, he's competing, and team others won't tell him otherwise. And okay, go compete. Both of them, Toto Wolff said, go compete. And we saw the rift it cost. But good enough, immediately Rosenborg won, he retired. He retired from Formula One straight up. He retired from Formula One straight up. So that has helped. That helped Mercedes, to stave off the longevity in rivalry. You have to take control as a team principal. Your drivers, whether you give them instructions or not, are instinctively competitive. As long as you have two number ones, they know that, look, there's a chance. So why am I giving way for this other person? Why am I giving way for this other person? And in their competitiveness, it can affect the team. With the team's goal is to win a championship. Yes, they would like to do a 1-2, but if a 1-2 is not possible, 1-3 is not bad. As long as you get the number one, that's what that matters
Very
most.
Important.
So, if they fail to get number one, I think it will be on the team principle. It will get the bulk of the blame. The drivers themselves, they will look at themselves too. But the drivers will always, because they've shown that they can't compete. Even if the team has to go out, do away with one, there will be other teams willing to take them on with enough money because they can show they can compete. But the team principle, if you lose that kind of, if you bottle this kind of thing, I don't think every other teams would not want you on that. Will not want you because it showed that you've been given this position, you had the best cars, yet you couldn't win. So the team principal will get bulk of the blame.
The team principal will get the bulk of the blame at the end of the day. And believe me, this is one of the most exciting Formula One seasons in recent times. Is it going to be a bottling by McLaren? Is Mad Max going to pull this one off? Let's see how it plays out. All right, from Formula One, let's head over to the courts and talk about basketball. Well, not really the courts per se. This has to do with some, should I say, legal troubles. Now, an NBA player and coach are among dozens of people arrested as part of a sweeping FBI investigation into illegal sports betting and allegedly rigged mafia-linked poker games. Now, Miami Heat player Terry Rozier and Portland Trail Blazers head coach Sean C. Billups were named by federal prosecutors in two separate indictments on Thursday, and both men deny the allegations. This issue of match fixing, sports betting, fully in sport. We see it a lot in football now. It seems like basketball is being drawn into that. Not that it's a new thing, but it's not something we hear about as often.
It's the NBA just started. The season just started. It was a big welcome. Adam Silver, was happy how things were going, and this broke. And it was said that the FBI didn't even. Normally, they would inform the NBA authorities before they go about their investigation and do what they do. But it was said that they didn't involve them because for the case of Chauncey Billups, the coach of Portland Trail Blazers, and a big legend. If you follow the game, you know this man was with Detroit Pistons. Won titles with is in the Hall of Fame. He's been the coach of Portland Trail Blazers since 2011. For his own case, it's the poker games, fixed poker games, and it involves indictment says it involves 4 of the 5 crime families in New York. That is crazy. That is really, really crazy. Basically, that's racketeering and tax evasion and every other thing you can think of. And it's crazy. And you hear stories now coming out, people coming out and saying, look, even while he was playing, it was being rumored that he was actually involved in some of these poker games where, complicated games where they were X-ray tables so you could see the cards when it's lying face down. You have contact lens that could see and pass message. So it was a complicated ring, and it's time allegedly is up until I would say he's innocent until proven guilty, but it's a weighty allegation against Chauncey Billups. Immediately the NBA has told him you are suspended. It doesn't even need his team, the Portland Trail Blazers, to tell him he's suspended. The NBA has told him he's suspended. He's been to court. Of course, he will make bail easily. It makes large chunk. It makes large sum of money. But for Terry Rozier's case is not surprising for those of us who follow NBA. It was heavily rumored last season. It was heavily rumored. There was a game where a player is being suspected of match fixing when even the bookies remove the props on the player. When they see betting pattern, and for a player who averages, say, 21 points per game, that was what he was averaging when he was a child, 21 points per game, all of a sudden, large amount of money being bet on him to get on the game to get less than 10 points. So that's alerted the bookies, and of course, most bookies who were smart enough removed him and then it was said that the NBA investigated. They found it was shady. Couldn't prove outrightly he was guilty. But because Adam Silver, the league is his product and he doesn't want anything to stain it, they just told him that, look, the last 8 games of the season, you stay away. Feign injury or whatever, but stay away from the last 8 games of the season. But you understand, And so Terry Rozier's case wasn't surprising for anybody, most people that followed the game, and especially all the shenanigans that happened last season. And so it's shameful for a player. He earns roughly $25 million per year. So how much are you making off sports betting? That's
more than a reasonable amount of money.
That's a bag. That's a big bag. You are in the top percentile of earners in the United States not in the United States, in the world. You're in the top percentiles of earners. 25 mil, you could do anything you want to do with 25 mil per year. And I don't know, probably addiction, or because there's no excuse you can come up for him being involved in that. So, but it's in the hands of the law now. They'll have to prove their innocence. Both have made bail. I heard they put down his house, $6 million as part of his bail condition and everything. Well, $6 million house, comfortable, and yet you're still betting on props that'll probably make you $200,000. Makes no sense to me.
Sometimes you look at this thing, and as you just said, it really makes no sense, really and truly. Anyways, let's take a break. When we get back in, we'll dive deep into the world of football. A number of things to talk about. We'll be talking about the Falcons. They're in the news. Victor Osimhen, and of course, the battle for the CAF Player of the Year. Where exactly should that one go? We'll talk about that and so much more on the other side. Keep it tuned. This is The Locker Room on Smooth 98.1.
Is it long ad?
Yeah, it's about 4 minutes.
Oh, okay.
4 minutes.
It makes no sense. You're making so much money, and then these guys they find a way to mess up themselves.
Very, very unnecessarily. If it were a case of, okay, what you're doing doesn't even involve your work at all, different story. But it still comes down to, you are making a lot of money. What is it? Is it an addiction thing? Is it, a rush of adrenaline. What exactly is it?
I mean,
Is it
in one of
playing
the
on the edge?
games, it was said that he told his friends and they bet on it big. You know, that there's what they call it's tough to catch on betting, but it's easier when foolish people are doing it because there's a betting pattern to it. Just follow the money. Too much money cannot be going. It's like saying, what do I call? Donnarumma to get a red card, and so much people are betting on it. That becomes a suspicious bet because Donnarumma ordinarily wouldn't get a red card.
Yeah.
So they flag that bet. I mean, immediately, it's called irregular betting pattern. The computer flags it. And then investigation starts going on it. Like, this is and that's how Maduka Okoye was caught. It was an irregular betting pattern. It was spot betting to Maduka Okoye to get yellow card, and so much money was being put on it. And hold up. How's money going on Maduka Okoye to get yellow card? It was later it was found out that, the restaurant he usually goes to eat, that's where they discussed it. And sometimes when you're earning good bag, it makes no sense when you.
I mean, just stay away from all those funny things. Look at Tonali as well.
Yeah.
I got banned for, was it 8 months? I mean, how many months was he out for? Something like that.
Ivan Toney, Tonali, those boys. And that's why betting is easy. Match fixing is easy in the lower tiers of game.
Yeah.
Because those ones don't earn money. As I said, people say, match fixing Premier League. I said, if you know how tough it is to fix a Premier League game, any top league game, you won't understand it.
Because the monies they are offered.
Yeah. You want
compared to what they are earning.
You're earning £8 million per year, and then you want to mess it up for, say, £50,000 one time offer, £100,000 one time offer. Doesn't make sense to you. But I mean, the lower division players, those ones don't earn any, don't earn peanuts, those lower. So that's why, I mean, you could bribe those ones you could bribe 5 players with £5,000 each, and they are good. But a Premier League player who earns probably that in a week. So, I never understand those that make the big bucks when they just do that. No brainer.
It could be an addiction thing, sure. It could be an addiction thing. It could be that whole rush of, I'm playing on the edge or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
like
playing on the edge.
Billup. Yeah, Chelsea Billup, I think he got himself probably involved with the mafia, and there was no. I mean, there's no way out from those ones.
There was no way out.
I mean, so that one I understand. Maybe he's messed up. Maybe he's during his playing career, he had something, and then they had something on him, and then since then he's been. But nevertheless, still caught up, making big money. Coach of Portland Trail Blazers since 2011. Now his career has probably ended. Crazy.
Because they don't waste time. First of all, you have suspension first.
Trades. Adam Silva.
Let's see what's going on.
Adam Silva doesn't mess around the product.
It's a bad look. All right, we're back. (0911-999-0981). That is the WhatsApp number that you can use to keep up with us. Send your messages. Get your thoughts across to us in the locker room this Friday morning here on Smooth 98.1. It's 35 minutes past 8 a.m. My name is Ayokunmi Ibitayo Daramola. Also with me this morning, taking a look at the sporting stories, giving his analysis, and of course, we're just having a great time. You get to be a part of it as well. You can also join the live stream on YouTube. You can find us at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Those are the ways you can be a part of the show this morning. Hey, we love to hear from you always. All right, let's switch into the world of football. A number of things that we need to talk about this morning. Let's begin with the Super Falcons of Nigeria, who'll be heading to the Benin Republic to battle the Amazons in their first leg of the final qualifying round of the 2026 WAFCON.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a stadium in Benin. I mean, we're playing in Togo Lome. We're playing in Lome. I mean, the girls are back, first time back since winning the WAFCON. First time they are coming back, and yes, the confidence is there. I mean, Why won't you be confident? It's Penny again. We inflicted pain on them. Super Eagles inflicted pain on them. The Super Falcons are about to take the beating and just do the same to their female national team. We are superior on paper and even everywhere. There's a confidence losing, and everybody's in camp. Ajibade coming off first goal for Paris Saint-Germain ladies. No, she just moved club. That's the captain. We have our assist queen. I mean, Esther Okoroko, who also is now the assist queen in our club side. I mean, they won a trophy. She had like 7 assists all season long. She's bang on form. The Aluzes, they're back. And I'm excited about seeing young girl, Joy Omewa, who's been making waves. And finally, she's got her first call-up. I'm excited about this girl. Really, really excited. She's been in Denmark for a while now, but she really came good. She really came good last season, where actually our club, Fortuna Jolin, she was top scorer for the Danish league, and of course won the best player in the Danish league. She's played 24 games, scored 22 goals, and this season our club is currently second in the Danish league. She's played 10 games, she's scored 9 goals. Indeed, she is bang on form, to say it, and she's been invited. I'm excited about that. Probably the only blip for some people would be a Monday Gift not getting invited. Another player who's bang on form in the NWSL, that's the American League. She just last month she won the Player of the Month in the American League. She's got the fastest hat-trick ever. She's bang on form. She missed out at for the Nations Cup. People said, "Wow, I mean, why would someone that talented miss out?" But I guess people forgot. Immediately we won, celebrated, and now they're back on the coach. Why isn't she invited? But I'm one to say, look, if the team starts failing, the first person to go is the coach. So he should be allowed to select the players he thinks would execute to his instruction and get victories. I think he has earned that right. He has earned that right because, I mean, he won the Nations Cup, and yes, the only 10th title we've been chasing for a while. And I think the man has earned the right to choose whoever he wants to choose. Yes, I'd like to see Monday Gift, but it's limited, the number of players he can invite, and we have so much talented players bang on form everywhere. Correct. So it's understandable. The girls are a 9-match unbeaten streak since starting 11 months ago or thereabout. I think that will continue, but we want to go there. We're playing today. We want to win convincingly today. So, I mean, the return leg, which will be in 5 days' time at Abeokuta, will just be a mere formality.
And that is what we're looking to actually see. Good luck to the Falcons. I mean, as you mentioned on paper, this is a no contest really, but this is football. Anything can happen. Well, will it happen here? Very unlikely. But hey.
I mean, nah.
Alrighty, let's talk about what's going on the men's side of things. And looking at the CAF Player of the Year award, Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen will battle Egypt's Mohamed Salah and Morocco's Achraf Hakimi for the 2025 CAF Men's Player of the Year award after being named on a 10-man shortlist alongside fellow Nigerians Stanley Nwabali and Daniel Bame, who earned nominations in their respective categories. This is going to be a hot one, most definitely.
Are we being biased or are we being honest? Which, because if you're being honest, I mean, Osimhen was great last year. There's no other way to put it. He was great last year. Convinced Galatasaray to break the Turkish record, shell out cash, crazy amount of salary that most English clubs who didn't go for him are regretting now because his form hasn't subsided. The boy is still banging from back-to-back Champions League, man of the match. Tells you how good that boy is. Mo Salah also the year in review also had an excellent year in review. The year being considered as January 6th to October 13th. So, I mean, excellent one for Mo Salah. I mean, he led Liverpool to win the league. He was the top scorer and also the man with the most assists. So, personally, but the man who's been the most excellent, if there's anything like that, I mean, the double praises for him, has been the man who has the last 2 years been the runner-up to the winner, Achraf Hakimi. Put together a year that is enviable for any footballer. Defensively was solid. Going forward, contributed immensely. 9 goals, 12 assists. I think that's massive coming from a defender, still doing his job defensively. And it wasn't just one of the players in PSG. He was a standout key player. He was really, really good. And maybe third time is a charm. I think this time around, nobody will bat an eyelid if he wins this, because it was free flowing. There were games where PSG looked to have struggled, and Achraf Hakimi will be the one to break the duck in those games, whether by scoring a goal or creating an assist.
Correct.
So he had a fantastic year. And I think, last year we saw how the Moroccan crowd reacted when Ademola Lookman was named. This time they thought Achraf Hakimi had a chance, but Ademola Lookman was named. We saw how the crowd reacted. They will be hosting this time again. Morocco will be hosting again. And I think they'll probably put soldiers everywhere. If we don't give it to Achraf Hakimi, nobody's going. But I think he will be well-deserving champion if he's named African Footballer of the Year.
I agree. I think at this point, if any of those men actually, when you can look and say that, okay, it's deserving, not the one where there's controversy over he didn't do enough and so on and so forth. I guess at least one of those men, if they get the award at the end of the day, you can say they did enough and they did well enough to actually deserve it. So good luck to all of them. And talking about good luck, well, let's talk about Nottingham Forest, because new manager went to the Europa League, got a 2-0 win over Porto, new manager bounced, and things are beginning to look up at Nottingham. What exactly is happening? Because Ange Postecoglou did not have this new manager bounce back. He didn't win a game. Sean came in, boom, first game, 2-0 win over Porto of all teams.
Yeah. It was suspicious when the pictures came out from the training when Sean Dyche joined and the players were laughing. It was suspicious, yeah. Last week, at the weekend, last weekend, I watched the Forest game, and it was Forest Chelsea, yeah? And
yes,
there was no way, look, I can't prove this. You know what you say? You can't prove this, but nobody can convince me that these players were not trying to sack Postecoglou. It looked as if they connived. Then again, look, they couldn't shoot. They were terrible defending, couldn't tackle, couldn't do anything. These were professional footballers. And all of a sudden now, everybody can play well. You get, I get it's the new manager bounce. And even the fans, the way they reacted to Sean Dyche from when he walked onto the pitch, it was very obvious. This, Postecoglou came in under not so good circumstance. Their darling coach, had been sacked for no reason other than the rift he had with the owner. And the fans, the fans were not concerned with the rift with the owner. Theirs was like, the football is good for us. And then Postecoglou brought on. So they were not really on board with Postecoglou. Postecoglou needed to convince them with the results. With Sean Dyche, they are bored. From day one, the fans turned out, they chanted, they did. And it also helped that the goals came early. Yes, 2 penalties converted. Good to see them bounce back. More importantly, they were solid defensively. And that's where the hope will lie. Sean Dyche, of course, we know him as a rigid, solid coach who believes in defense first, and then we can work on it. And he doesn't have his team complete yet. There's Olaino yet to join in. There's the top scorer, Chris Wood.
Chris Wood as well, yeah.
He knows Chris Wood in and out. Chris Wood was with him in Burnley.
At Burnley, yeah.
Yeah, so he knows him in and out. So if he has a full complement of the squad, you reckon that Nottingham Forest the ship will be steadied with Sean Dyche in charge, and the fans can start being happy now.
Well, it's a new day at Nottingham Forest. It's just that other teams in the Premier League who haven't played Forest will be disappointed now that why didn't we get to face them before Sean Dyche actually came in? So it's actually quite understandable. But hey, this life, as they say, is unbalanced. Let's take the messages here. This is from Felix in Mende, Maryland. Good morning to you, Felix. Madam Tega is fine. Yes, she's fine. She's just away for this week. Don't worry, you'll have her back soon enough. And my regards to Mr. Ibitayo Daramola. Thank you very, very much for that. He says, I hope my club Real Madrid prevails over Barcelona in the forthcoming Grand El Clasico. Um, okay, thank you for that. All right, thank you for that particular update, Felix. I'll escalate that and work on it. Thank you so much for the observation. Tayo says it's the Super Falcons. Nothing will stop them. Will stop them. Sean Dyche went to Nottingham with a padlock. Well, we know how he tends to actually operate. Sean Dyche. Mohammed says it's funny that Hamilton is talking about his rivals' performances instead of his performance this year with Ferrari. I mean, he has to deflect now. Come on, he has to deflect from what he's been doing.
He's a seven-time champion. He's what's carry authority.
He says, although it is not his fault, Ferrari is a bad constructor that killed Vettel's career after he left Red Bull, which will also happen to Hamilton. The truth is, Max would have won this year's constructor and drivers' championship if they hadn't sacked the Red Bull team manager. You agree with that, Ty?
No. I mean, unarguably, the McLarens have the fastest car on the circuit. Yes, there was a little bit of the printing principal leaving in Red Bull, but it was a dead man walking before the end of last season. They knew he was going to leave, so it had nothing to do with this season. This season, the fact is that the cars are not good enough to compete with the McLarens. It's because of the driver. That's why it looks as if, yes, they need to be catching up. They made some adjustment like they always do when it's mid-race, when it's mid-season in the Formula One. You can adjust and do everything. But the McLarens are the fastest cars, and nothing can convince me otherwise that, yeah, if the team principal hadn't left, that Red Bull will be doing better than they are doing now.
All right, let me take this one from this is Chidozie. Chidozie says, in this life, just have good PR. That's what I think Sean Dyche is riding on. Well, good PR or not, he won his first game, so he's had a good start. Nice question of can he maintain or sustain that? Let's see. Stan says, let's tell the truth. Those Nottingham Forest, that Nottingham Forest team are a shadow of themselves. I saw the match and their play is nothing but nonsensical. I won't use the word that you actually use there, Stan. Wait and see their next match. They were just lucky yesterday. Well, let's see. Let's see how far the new manager bounce is going to carry them. On YouTube, Uche Nawoko says, football is back. United, let's make top 4 this weekend and push for the title as well. Uche, I like you. You're very, you have lofty aspirations.
I
like that.
Your optimism.
I like that. He then says 6 points from the top can be overturned. UCL and Europa was hot. Osimhen or Hakimi for me. And I guess AFCON would decide. Is the award after AFCON or before?
Yeah, AFCON was last year. Yeah. The year, what is being reviewed is the start of this January 6th to October 13th.
Okay. So AFCON in December has no bearing on that whatsoever. All right, fantastic. All right, then let's wrap it up. Thank you all so much for the messages, and big thank you to you, Ibitayo Daramola, for keeping it real this entire week. Amazing time. You're the real MVP.
Yeah, always a pleasure, brother.
All right. Have yourself a fantastic weekend, and do get your much needed rest. All right, then, Lagos, Nigeria, the entire world, wherever you're listening to us, thank you all so very much once again for being a part of the locker room this morning. The Smooth Breakfast will kick on 9 o'clock, a conversation on Lagos Talks, and it's all about World Polio Day. Yes, polio is still a conversation that needs to be brought to the fore, and I'm having a special guest to join me to discuss that and give us some much needed insight. That comes up at 9 o'clock. My name is Ayokunmi. Keep it tuned to Smooth 98.1.